friend. Welcome to the Fruitful Fertility Podcast. Do you want to better understand your body so you can get pregnant naturally? Do you find yourself up late at night Googling how to ovulate on your own or natural fertility tips? Do you feel lost on what your next step should be? Hey, I'm Tori, a registered nurse, Christian fertility coach, and your new TTC BFF. When I started my fertility practice, I realized how much the modern medical system was missing when it came to supporting women trying to get pregnant. I knew God had called me to this space to bridge that gap and provide more natural fertility support and education. With time and a little trial and error, I found a foundational way to assess infertility cases and get better results. In this podcast, you will finally understand how your body and fertility work, support to stay off that emotional roller coaster, and a proven strategy to improve ovulation and increase your fertility naturally. If you're ready to get started, drop those ovulation sticks and grab a pen because, girl, you look fertile to me. I hope everyone had an excellent 4th of July. And I'm also really excited because now that July 4th has passed, we are really close to July 8th. If you were listening to this on Monday when it actually releases, we are one day away from launching the new HTMA bundle, which is going to be a little more of a DIY version. And then if you want more one-on-one support, you can definitely upgrade to that, but it gives you an option to jump in and get started at a lower price point and really just get those answers you've been looking for. So I'm super excited about that. It launches July 8th. You'll get an email if you're on my email list. If not, click on the free checklist below or something below to get on the email list. And if you enroll from July 8th to July 15th, everyone that enrolls in this first week is going to be put in a drawing for a giveaway for a free call with me. So you'll get a 1-hour call with me to go over your HTMA, answer all your questions, and really get that personalized handheld kind of support. So make sure you enroll this first week. Let's jump in. Let's do this. If you missed last week's episode about how HTMA can help with unexplained infertility, I want you to go back and listen to that because it's really going to explain more about what it is and how it works and why you really need it. Okay? Now let's jump into today. So in the fertility world, you have heard me say it. You've heard your doctor say it. You have seen it online. All the places you hear all the time, well, it's stress. It's stress. And while that is true. It absolutely is true. It's also kind of annoying to hear, right? Because it's a really gray area. Like, well, what does that mean? And what do I do? So in this episode, it's going to be pretty in depth. So if you're at home, I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pencil. If you're driving, I want you to just listen. And then when you get home, you can, listen again and go through this because we're really going to dive into some stuff right here. And I'm going to help you pinpoint what your stress is and how to move forward and what to do about it. So instead of just hearing it's stress, or just relax, or just take a break, or all those things that are not helpful, I'm going to actually help you navigate how to identify the stress and what to do about it. Okay? So let's jump right in. First, let's understand how stress really does play into this. And I'll keep this short and sweet. I won't go on and on about why it really is the culprit, but I do want you to understand why it is the culprit. So we have acute stress, something that's happening right now, right this day, this week. We also have chronic stress, something that's happening over time, constantly. And so acute stress, obviously, again, is something that's happening right now, short-lived. Your nervous system should kick in and help you switch from that sympathetic, that fight or flight, to that parasympathetic, which is rest or digest. So we should flip back and forth between those equally. What happens when we are chronically stressed is now we are losing minerals, we are losing our stores, and we're not switching back and forth from those nervous system states. So just know one's not better than the other. They're both meant to keep you safe. One's meant to help you outrun the bear that's chasing you. This is a hypothetical bear, right? Whatever the stress is in your life. One is to help you recover after you run away from the bear. So they're both important, and we want to switch back and forth from them equally. What happens more often than not is that we are in this fight or flight, running away from the bear really often from different stress in our life, whether that be, well, I'm going to dive into all the reasons this might be happening for you because we're going to navigate that together. But we stay in fight or flight way too long. We use up all our mineral stores. Our body's trying to keep us safe. And it's in a state of like almost frenzy all the time. Like, you may not feel that mentally, but your body feels that, your nervous system feels that. And then after we stay in that state so long, we have depleted our minerals, we shift into that parasympathetic state, which is the rest or digest or the recovery. And your body just stays there because it's like, oh my gosh, I've been running a marathon. I ran through all my gas, all my minerals. I have nothing left. So I'm just going to stay in this slowed down state to keep you safe. And when we are in this slowed down parasympathetic state, our body's not going to have the energy and the fuel or prioritize things like ovulation and a pregnancy. So we have to help our body come back out and, come back to life, essentially. We got to come out of this dormant rest and digest mode that we're in. I even just recently did my HTMA. I showed my results on my story. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, come to Instagram, look at that HTMA highlight, and I kind of showed you what that looks like on an HTMA test. And 9 times out of 10, if I do a test on someone, we are all in a parasympathetic state, which is that rest and digest state. And honestly, this is just, the effect of living in the world we live in, where we have crazy work schedules. We have a lot demanded of us. We don't get to eat as much as we should, or we're not eating food that is mineral rich or protein rich. Like, we're just not getting the nutrients and the fuel we need. And so we're burning through it faster than we're replacing it. And our body is just tired. So that mineral depletion really leads to hormone imbalances and why it's harder to get pregnant, because again, our body doesn't have the fuel it needs to make the hormones or to use the hormones. And it's just not a priority. Our body's trying to keep us safe, and pregnancy and ovulation are not priorities when we're trying to be safe. Breathing, your heart beating, your blood pumping, those things are priorities. So the name of the game is identifying what the stress is in your life and then helping your body manage it. Sometimes it's something we can avoid. Sometimes there's stuff we can cut out, things we can do. But a lot of the time, it's just going to be, we need to do a better job of managing it. We weren't taught coping skills. I have a 7 and a 9-year-old myself, and I see so much of like their tantrums and their meltdowns in myself when I'm overstimulated and I've had too much. Like, we are just not typically taught as children how to regulate our emotions. So then we become adults and we don't know how to fix the stress in our life or regulate our emotions or take care of our bodies. So that is what we have to do, is identify it and then find ways to manage it in a healthy way. Because that's another thing. In our world, our management skills are alcohol and, things like that are furthering the problem, not actually helping. We think it's helping because we get a little dopamine hit from it, but it's not actually providing our body the support it needs. Okay, so let's talk about what is stress, what does it look like, and I want you to think of yourself in these scenarios, okay? So we have 2 different categories. We have physical and we have emotional. And when we think of stress, we tend to think of emotional. We tend to think of like those seasons where we're really busy, we have a lot going on, we're really upset. We think of stress like that. But I want you to kind of open your mind to the fact that stress can be lots of different things. It can be physical or emotional. So let's talk about physical first, because this is the one that we kind of ignore. So when someone's like, it's stress, you think, well, I don't really feel stressed. Work is good. Life is good. I don't feel that stress, but I want you to, maybe write these down, identify which ones might sound like you. Okay. Signs of physical stress could be blood sugar instability. Your blood sugar is not balanced, meaning you're not eating enough calories. I promise that's probably one of them. It is for probably 75% of my clients. It definitely is for me. You're not eating enough protein to fuel your body. So if you're someone with low progesterone, here's your stress. Here's one place you could really look at. Am I eating enough food? Am I eating enough protein? Am I eating enough real food? Because that is a stressor. Not having enough calories is a stressor. Trouble detoxing. This is also me. I've got a lot of these, and I just did my HTMA and it told me so. But these are things you can actually see. So trouble detoxing. So maybe you have skin issues. You have sluggish digestion. For me, it's acne. I have acne on my face and my neck, and I can tell that my lymphatic drainage is just not really what it should be. So if you have skin issues, this may be true for you. Your body may have trouble detoxing. Your drainage pathways may not be open. And I know that sounds like fancy smancy talk, but it's things like pooping every day. Are you pooping every day? If you're not, that's a stressor in your life, and that's something you need to focus on. If you have acne like me, what is causing the acne? Do you have poor lymphatic drainage? That is a stressor, something we need to focus on. short cycles. If you're having irregular cycles, that means we're dealing with some kind of stress. So this is not necessarily the actual stressor, it's more of a sign of the stress, but just a physical thing you can see of the stress in your life and what is causing it. If you have trouble sleeping or you don't get enough sleep, if you are not getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night, like restful sleep, this is a physical stressor and something we need to work on. Stress or sleep is where you really heal. Your body really gets to shut down and rest and heal and regroup. And if we're not giving our body that time, we're staying up on our phone, getting all this blue light, it's disrupting our sleep, things like that. We really need to prioritize sleep. So sometimes when you hear it's stress, it can be something simple like, oh, I need to drink more water so I can poop more often, and that sounds so silly, but it's true. Or, hey, I'm only getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep. I'm really going to work on going to bed an hour earlier so I can get more sleep. It can be that simple. So I want you to think about any of those things. Blood sugar, you may not know exactly, but if you're not eating enough calories, maybe try tracking your food for 2 or 3 days and see how many calories you're getting and how much protein you're getting in. And if it's not at least half your body weight, if not more, we need more protein. So that is kind of the physical side of things that are going on. If we look at emotional, now this can be the things that are really obvious, okay? Unhealthy work environment. This is the very first one I think of because I see this so often in everybody, not just my clients, but in the world, in all my friends, family, social media, and even for myself. I was a nurse working 12-hour shifts and I hated it. I hated it so much. I could walk in the hospital and that smell would hit my nose and I would be so sad. And I would think to myself, I am stuck here for the next 13 hours and cannot leave. And it felt so soul crushing to me. I had to work every other weekend and holidays and I just hated that. Having 2 little ones, and even before I had kids with my husband, like not having the weekends with him because he worked a Monday through Friday job. Like that was really soul crushing to me. And that may sound a little dramatic, but that was a stressor. I want you to think about what was happening to my nervous system every time I walked in those hospital doors. And so what I did was I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I took a step back and obviously have, created this online business where I get to help you guys now. And I love it. Like it is just so, it's just the best job I've ever had. I can't even put it into words. I'm like at a lack of words right now because I enjoy what I do so much and I feel so much purpose and happiness. And even in the hard seasons, I go through some hard seasons with you guys, but it's just truly an honor to get to do it. And I love it. I get off calls like energized and just so thankful that I get to do this. So that was a big swap for me. So it really might be something like changing your job. That sounds really big and really like, I can't leave my job. I've been here 15 years. I get it. But what is work for you? Is work a soul-sucking place or is it a fun place? That's something to think about. The next one, I've got a few that I see a lot. And so that's one. The next one is people pleasing. And this is me too. I'm a recovering people pleaser. So if this is you, I get it. And even if you are a people pleaser in a bad work environment, you may be thinking, oh, I can't leave. They need me. Even though I hate it and it's soul sucking, I just can't leave because I can't let down Betty in HR and she'll be so sad. I get it. I get it. I cried over leaving jobs. I really did. But people pleasing and always denying yourself and what you need for other people is going to put stress on your body. It's going to keep your nervous system in that frenzy, confused, running away from the bear. And so you've got to find the balance. Like, yes, we want to help people. Yes, we want to serve people, but not at the expense of our health. So we have to find a way to, I really wish I'd got some book recommendations. I may look some up. Check the show notes after this and I'll put some people pleasing books suggestions in the show notes because I need them too. And maybe we'll read them together. Because this is a big one. This is a really big one. We can do it as wives. We can do it as siblings. We can do it as employees. We can just do it for anybody and everything. So I want you to think like, am I a people pleaser? Do I do stuff constantly that I really don't want to because I think I'm supposed to and I don't want to disappoint people? Because that's a healthy boundary we have to figure out. Number 2 would be perfectionism. Are you a perfectionist? Are you a type A, go, do more, never let yourself rest, really hard on yourself, never patting yourself on the back kind of person? because I see that a lot too. This, and especially in the fertility world, if you are a perfectionist, you're doing all the things. You're continuing to look up the next thing to do and making sure you check it off your list and never resting and never feeling like you're doing enough. And even that mentality is causing stress on your body. So if you have a perfectionist attitude or you never let yourself rest, incorporating, just start with 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day that you don't doom scroll your phone, that you sit in silence, you don't scroll social media, you take some deep breaths. I can talk about nervous system regulation exercises too, and I have in other episodes. But, look up just get on Google or Chat GPT and look up nervous system regulation exercises and spend 10 minutes not on your phone, not doing more, resting and giving yourself that grace of, hey, I don't have to be going all the time. I am worthy even if I don't do these things, even if I'm not completely active. This is a hard one, and I totally get it. I am someone who is not good at sitting down to rest. I feel like all these are me. Here's the insight to what I'm really like, guys. I have people-pleasing tendencies that I'm working on. I'm not good at resting. I have trouble detoxing. I have a lot of stress, and my HTMA showed it to me. But this is just something to think about and look at. Like, am I perfectionist? And it's hard to step away from something that's a personality trait, but you have to find a healthier balance. Inside the Conception Connection, which is my monthly membership where I walk you through lifestyle habits to help improve your fertility, this is something we talk about. And there's even a stress inventory sheet in there where we walk through like, hey, let's talk about your stressors. Is it work? And what you basically do is write down the thing that you think is a stressor in your life. And then you brainstorm on the other side 2 to 3 things to help you manage that stress. So is it work? Is it unhealthy boundaries at work? Can you leave your job? Yes or no? Is that an option? Can you work in a different department? Can you work around different people? Like, this is just a brainstorm of how to help. So really helpful. Come inside Conception Connection. We will talk about that together on our monthly group coaching calls and help you get to the root of what the stress is in your life. A few more examples are relationships, unhealthy communication with your husband, the person that you're trying to make this baby with, trauma from your childhood, something that happened to you as a child that you never fully processed or talk about, and you kind of stuff down and your body's just holding it. And we've got to let that out. We've got to process and work through that so that it's not a trigger in your life. Like, it'll always be there. And it's kind of, I'm not a therapist, even though sometimes I wish I was. I feel like half my job is counseling and therapy. And I think that's just, a really intimate thing to do with people. And I feel really honored when I get to talk through this stuff with you guys. But again, that trauma, like, we've got to have you work through it. Do you need to work through it? And the last one, I really want you to lean in right here. Lean in, listen, come back to me if you're multitasking. If this has gotten a little long and you're like, this is boring, Tori, I want you to come back to me right here. A big stressor, a big emotional stressor I see with people is feeling like they're not good enough or they're not worthy of being pregnant, that they'll never become pregnant. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in your body. You don't believe that you're doing enough. Kind of back to the perfectionism, but it is really this worthiness that you feel guilty that you're not pregnant, that it's your fault, that you're disappointing people and you don't know if you'll ever get pregnant. And I understand being there because you've been trying for a long time. And it's like, you didn't start out there. You kind of got there, right? From having to wait and seeing multiple negative pregnancy tests. But I need you to dig deep, and we need to renew this spirit of you are worthy. You are worthy of pregnancy. God has called you to be a mother. You've wanted to be a mother since you were a little girl, and you feel this strongly in your heart. And I believe that God keeps his promises. And if he has promised you that, if you have talked to him and been in deep connection and prayer with him, and you feel like that is truly like God, what God has told you, this is what he has spoken to you, what he's called you to do, then you got to believe. You got to believe that God is bigger than your body or your health history or your negative pregnancy test. You are worthy of becoming a mom. It is not your fault. You're not disappointing anybody. You can get pregnant. And this belief is not going to come overnight. It's something that's going to take practice and rewiring your brain a little bit. But I promise this is like, you are worthy. I just feel like I can't come up with the right words today because I really want you to hear that. Don't let the stress that's causing you to run away from the bear and trip your nervous system be your disbelief in yourself. If you haven't listened to Haley's story on the podcast, she was one of my HTMA clients and she shares just her journey with the whole process. But on our very last call, I could tell from her body language that she just wasn't fully in it. And I said, okay, Haley, I'm going to ask you something. I was like, I want to know if you believe that you can get pregnant, and I want you to tell me the truth. And she said, no. And we talked a little bit about that, about how she is worthy, how she is made to be a mom. And it's, believing in herself and believing in the possibility, even though it's hard. And then I believe it was a month later she was pregnant. And she talks about that in that podcast episode, how that mindset really changed things for her and opened up new possibilities and a healthy mindset. It's, and it's not all about mindset, but I do want you to know that I just want you to believe in yourself, because the negative thoughts you tell yourself are stress on your nervous system. So if you're not kind to yourself, whether it be about your hair or your body or your fertility status or any of that, it's just something we've got to work on. Just like incorporating a exercise routine, just like incorporating healthier food, it's just something you have to practice and work on. Okay? I feel like I've rambled on about that enough. So understanding stress, how it depletes our minerals and how that throws off hormone balance, different types of stress, physical and emotional. Listen to this episode again, go backwards and listen to the few things that I talked about: blood sugar regulation, trouble detoxing, not moving your body, things like that, trouble sleeping. Do you have physical stress in your life? Do you have emotional stress in your life? And then I want you to think about brainstorm, what can I do to help my body manage this stress better? Okay. And if you need help, here's my honest and true suggestions for what you should do if you are wanting to navigate your stress. Number one, I want you to start with Rise and Source from Frequence. It's linked below in the show notes. This is my favorite supplement blend. It's two items that you mix together and drink, and it tastes like a mango lemonade, and it's really nice and refreshing, and you don't have to take 20 capsules a day. But what this combination is doing is addressing the physical and the emotional. It's helping you detox a little bit better. It's helping you feel your nervous system feel more calm because it's filled with adaptogens and mushrooms. It's helping you sleep better. It's helping you your body not feel so overwhelmed. It's really helping to nourish your nervous system. And so if you're someone who just needs somewhere to start, or you just feel overwhelmed with all the information that you find online, this is all I want you to do. I just want you to start drinking this 1 cup of lemonade a day, because it's really going to address, again, all the physical. It's going to help with blood sugar regulation. It's going to help with detox. It's going to help with gut health. It's going to help with hormone balance. It's going to help with energy. It's going to help your body's mitochondria find that energy. So when we're in that parasympathetic state, it's going to help us switch back and forth. It's really just such an easy place to start before you dive into anything else. So I want you to start there. Once you're on Rise and Source for 1 to 2, maybe even 3 months, I want you to come to the Conception Connection, where I'm going to give you more lifestyle habits that you can incorporate. Things like knowing how to work on nervous system regulation exercises, how to build a plate to fuel your body so that you're eating enough calories and enough protein. We're going to talk about things like detoxing your home, so getting rid of products that are interfering with your fertility. This is a rabbit hole, guys. You've probably already gone down this rabbit hole. I'm going to make it so simple so you don't feel like your whole home is this poisonous place and help you know what products to use and how to save money while doing it. And we have monthly group coaching calls in that membership, where you can get on, ask me any questions you want once a month, and really help you, even if with stress. Like, hey, Tori, I did my stress inventory. Can you walk through it with me and help me know what to do? Yes, I absolutely can. That's a great option. Number 3, HTMA. You knew I was going to say it, didn't you? HTMA, let's look at your levels. The sooner we can look at your levels and help you figure out how to balance them better and get to the bottom of those triggers, figure out what the stress is, replenish those mineral stores that you've burned through, and we can replenish them very strategically because we know exactly which ones are depleted. It's going to make you feel so much better and help you improve your fertility and actually get pregnant and stay pregnant. So all the links are in the show notes. And again, this is an episode you need to come back to and listen again. Take some notes, brainstorm. I'm here to help you if you need me. I hope this was helpful. I love you so much, and I will see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If this episode touched your heart or taught you something, I'd be honored if you share it with a friend who could use the information too. And if you want to be the real MVP, then would you also take 30 seconds to tap those 5 stars at the bottom and leave a written review telling me what you're loving? It lights me up to know this podcast is really helping you. Don't forget, you're super cute and super fertile, so meet me back here next week and let's keep chatting and learning together.